Be over, but at Old Trafford, it's England's cricketers who are hoping to score their first victory. 1 down and 3 left to play. Alex Stewart knows he must win this Test match if England are to have any realistic chance of taking the series. Mark Butcher still injured. It's left-hander Nick Knight who's been brought back into the side to become Atherton's third opening partner this series. Ashley Giles earns his first cap. He joins Robert Croft in the spin attack. But it's the return of Darren Gough that could decide the outcome of this match. It was a cruel blow when he was injured at Edgbaston. The South Africans have not played at Old Trafford since 1960, but Hansie Cronje's side seemed very much at home during net practice yesterday. Gary Liebenberg replaces Adam Barker, who has a shoulder injury, and with Sean Pollock nursing a thigh strain, Makhaya Ntini, a promising fast bowler, will replace him. Well, I got a bit of time for Makhaya Ntini. I think he might do well here. Welcome to the highlights of the opening day of this third Test match, the Cornhill Test, and England needs some good fortune. A very good start would be to win the toss.
You've won it. We'll have a bet.
Hansie, you've won the toss. You're going to have a bat. Was that an easy decision?
Well, it looks a good track. It looks as though, it's very little grass on it, and probably be best in the first 3 or 4 days and try and make the best out of it today, try and get a good score, and then hopefully it'll take a bit of turn as the game goes on.
What is a good score on this pitch, do you think, batting first?
No, I'm not going to predict anything. I think, we know what Test cricket's like. We've just got to go out there and make the most of it.
You've had a bit of trouble with injuries, disrupting your preparations.
Yeah, we've got Bacher's missing out after the save he made at Lords. So Liebenberg gets another chance, and we've also got Sean Pollock missing out because of a thigh muscle, and Makhaya Ntini, who's been bowling terrifically well so far on tours, making his third Test appearance.
Alec, presumably you would have batted first?
I think there's a fair chance that would have happened, yes.
So what's the team news?
Of the 13, there's no Headley and no Hollyoak, so we're playing 2 spinners.
Is that the sort of thing for this pitch you think you need?
Yeah, I think so. We've had a good look at it, spoken with the selectors, and we feel it will turn a little bit, and hopefully it will be the right selection.
And they're the two teams confirmed at the toss. England, Atherton and Knight, right-hand, left-hand combination confirmed there. Hossain, Stewart, Thorpe and Ramprakash, the 6 batsmen. Dominic Cork and Croft, Ashley Giles, we've talked about as the left-arm spinner making his debut. Darren Gough back on the side, and Angus Fraser as the third seamer here rather than the new ball bowler. Now South Africa, Gary Kirsten, Liebenberg back in for Barker, Jacques Cullis, Cullinan, Cronje, Rhodes, Klusener, very good cricketer Lance Klusener, Boucher had a good game at Lords, Alan Donald, Paul Adams, the left-arm spinner who bowled very well down there, and Makhaya Ntini, the pace bowler, coming in for Pollock. Just confirmation of Peter Willey and Doug Cowie standing in this Test match. Doug Cowie, the international umpire. David Constant, the third umpire. Javed Burki, the match referee. South Africa won the toss and will bat on what looks to be a pretty good strip and may take a little bit of spin later on, but we'll hear more about that now from David Gower.
Well, that looks like a good toss to win for me, and it's a very interesting looking pitch actually. The middle is pretty solid at the moment. This is traditional Surrey Ongar loam on top. Feels quite hard if you give it a tap, and as this dries out, there's still a bit of moisture underneath. As this dries out, it'll help the pace increase on this pitch. There's the odd strip of grass, most of it's been shaved off pretty much. There's the odd little clump of grass like this, which might just do a little bit something different if it hits that. But the interesting thing for the future of the game is as you come up the pitch, the change in the loam. Peter Marin, the groundsman here, has decided he can do something about these pitches. The centre is for the seamers to pitch on, the end is for the spinners. Now there are lots of cracks, and trust me, this is a slightly different mix than the loam and the surface here. It's just, it does feel a little bit different. You can see these cracks here, they're pretty solid at the moment. But the expectation that these will actually start to help the spin bowlers, say 2-3 days into the game, maybe a little bit longer, but for most of it, and certainly his first 2 or 3 days, I think it's going to be a good pitch to bat on. These pitches tend to look worse than they are and play better than they look.
Thanks, David. Well, that sounds pretty good for the side batting first here, and we're going to join the play now with the first ball. Darren Gough is the bowler. Gary Kirsten is taking straight.
Nice little loosener. And the expectation this morning is that there won't be huge pace in this pitch, but it looks flat enough, and the South Africans, having won the toss, keen to build another big total. it's a stroke of luck, to say the least, for Gary Kirsten. It's 4 runs, he's off the mark, South Africa off the mark, but that was ever so close to the leg stump off the inside edge.
Well, another good bit of bowling. Gary Kirsten just a fraction early into the shot, getting a thickish inside edge.
That's edged away, but very safely, almost guided down towards third man. 4 runs to Jerry Liebenberg. Good shot, nicely played away through mid-wicket. It's going to be 4 more. That's an authentic shot, nicely off the meat of the bat.
Well, Jerry Liebenberg has a habit of playing around his front pad. Dominic Cork raised his arms in a little bit of surprise with that shot, but I think that's a very good shot.
Old Trafford this morning largely covered by grey cloud. Not too covered either by spectators, only about half full. It's worth asking the question. That's umpire Doug Cowie from New Zealand, shaking the head.
Dominic Cork not getting his normal away swing, coming back into the right-hander, coming back quite a long way.
Well played. That's straight down the ground. Nice elegant swing of the bat. And the outfield is quick enough to take that across the boundary for 4. That's a good stop. Nasser Hussain at cover.
Well, this is the first one that Darren Gough has bowled a little bit wide. That's a lovely stop. Nasser Hussain has found himself in the slips in the first 2 test matches. Now he's at cover. He's not the worst cover fielder in the world, it has to be said.
Slightly awkward moment for Jerry Liebenberg.
Didn't really climb as perhaps Jerry Liebenberg was thinking. In the end, played a rather awkward shot. Perfectly safe because there's no one around the corner. Just 1 or 2 heart flutters, I'm sure, as the ball left the glove.
Time now for a change in the commentary box, and I've had a few letters this summer already saying, now where is Geoffrey Boycott? Truth is, he's not a million miles away from here. Welcome back to Geoffrey Boycott. With him is Richie Benaud.
All in readiness now. Darren Gough. Cruel blow when he was out of the West Indies tour and then injured again. He seems to be in fairly good form this morning, as indeed is the Yorkshireman alongside me. Morning, Geoffrey.
Morning, Richie. Morning, everybody. Yeah, I think everybody's glad that Darren Gough's back because he gives an extra dimension of pace to the England attack. The only danger is that when you get a bowler like Darren who's got a bit more pace than everybody else, the pitch is nice and bouncy with the new ball, so you can make the batsman duck and weave a bit. Danger is that you get a little bit aggressive and bowl too many short balls.
Oh, what a beauty. That is his classic delivery, the one right up in the block hole, removing just one of the 3 stumps. He never goes overboard about it. Liebenberg is on his way. And 16 he's made, 25 for 1, and that is a wonderful breakthrough for England.
Well, it might have been the short ball or 2 that unsettled the opener, but it was the pitched up delivery right up there, fairly full. It wasn't quite Yorker length, it was just a very well pitched up delivery. Pace, and the opener didn't quite get his feet moving enough and missed it.
And that is a very good shot we can bring you there with our stump camera. Just turned things inside out for Jerry Liebenberg, and upside down for that matter. $25 for 1 now. Batting order still to come. Jacques Kallis is the man who's walked out now. And Cullinan, Cronje, Rhodes and Klusner. Didn't quite get that. It'll give us an idea of how fast the outfield is, or how fast the ball will go across it. A bit faster than Gus Fraser. As soon as he gets him down that end, bowls an absolute ripper.
Well, it was beautifully bowled. Drew him into the forward stroke again, looking to drive, no feet, back not straight.
But Angus Fraser's the man coming on, and I reckon you'll see Cork go up to the Warwick Road end. Perhaps not straight away. Another one for Darren Gough, who's bowling quite beautifully this morning, particularly for a man who's been out with injury. The outside edge, but it's cost 4 runs. It was a good delivery from Angus Fraser. Just drew him into the stroke. Batsman had to play at it.
Yes, he's got to do this a bit more often. Draw the batsman forward. A modern way not to have a third man, so any thick edges go for 4 usually.
Dominic Cork, all his body language was that he was dissatisfied with the Stretford end. Flown off the shoulder.
Well, it was an uncomfortable delivery to play. It got up quite quickly, him on the sort of rib cage area. It's the only one that's got up for a while.
Nicely played, beautifully clipped to mid-wicket. That's a long run. Not sure he's going to get there. It's a long boundary. You felt in the end he ought to overtake it. But we see in dry conditions a fielder racing away and the ball actually gaining on him. But Darren Gough did all the running that time. Oh, brilliant stop. That's just what you need. It wasn't a good ball by Gus Fraser, but you like to get away with the odd one that doesn't land on the spot, and Nasser Hussain is the fielder.
Yes, very poor delivery and beautifully struck. And Nasser Hussain has pulled off a wonderful job for his bowler, because he should have given away 4 there. Gary Kirsten hit it straight off the middle. Didn't quite get it far enough in front of Nasser Hussain, but superbly fielded.
That's well played. Good use of the feet from Gary Kirsten. And he worked it through the onside very effectively. 50 up for South Africa. So he's got 4 here. That's a good shot. Picked up the flight of the ball very quickly. He wasn't tossed up. Really flicked it away hard through the onside. Good shot from Kallis.
Well, that was a possibility. It's gone for 4. Ashley Giles, not far away from having his first wicket in Test cricket. Now for the right-hander Jacques Kallis, only 1 slip. And the opportunity to cut straight away, just a little bit too short and a bit too wide. The second session of the match, and you've got one that pitches and spins a good foot. No touch on it. There is a third man, but Angus Fraser's not going to get anywhere near that. That's high-class square drive.
Now, this is his favourite shot, Jacques Kallis.
Four for that, but as pointed out by Barry Richards just a few minutes ago, the stroke not played with total conviction. The ball has flown just over the head of the keeper or wide of a fieldsman on those two occasions.
He's persisting with the hook shot, Jacques Kallis.
The shout there was for the ball hitting pad before it hit bat. There's no doubt it hit the bat as well.
This is very good bowling. He stopped him playing that shot with that man now, and he's got to play it on the offside, and that one's come in with the arm. In fact, that's a very good shot. Yes, and Goff hasn't quite got his line right. Bowling to left-hander and right-hander. That's a perfect line for the left-hander. But to the right-hander, it's just angling down the leg side, and he's able to work it away. That's what happens when the ball doesn't swing. When the ball gets to about 30-odd overs, which it is now, England will be looking for a little bit of reverse swing. Jacques Kallis, sweep's been cut out, so now he's looking to get down the wicket, so try and break the rhythm up. Good sign for the bowler when the batsmen are trying to attack. It means you've got them under a little bit of pressure. I think it is important for Kallis to score quickly. Kirsten's going to be the anchor.
Too short. The idea was okay. It was an appreciably quicker delivery. There's nothing wrong with the technique, but the actual result wasn't good. It was much too short. He's cracked that beautifully. Giles is one who's having a little bit of a problem with the right-hand, left-hand batting combination. Hasn't got his length right for the right-hander Kallis. That's the drifter, but there's so much width there that Gary Kirsten can just flail the bat at it. 99 for 1. Good little surge from South Africa here immediately after lunch.
Beautifully placed, and that's the 100 up. Good firm push wide of mid-wicket, and they take 3 runs. Jacques Kallis is the striker. Applause around the ground. No great crowd here today at Old Trafford, I'm afraid. Rather disappointing that, but nothing in the cricket is disappointing. South Africa winning the toss. The sunshine is out, and they're 102 for 1. Oh, nice shot. Beautifully played, straight, back in the V. And a little bit of follow through in that, which is taking the ball right the way to the boundary rope. Big appeal for LBW there. That was turned down. Good stretch down the pitch with the front leg.
Well, I said they're always looking to sweep. Pitched on and probably drifting down.
And Alex Stewart's got a lot to think about. It's not something that others haven't had to think about before him. Losing the toss or a slowish, decent pitch and finding wickets hard to come by. Well, that was a shout which was optimistic, but it's always good to let the batsman know that you're around, that you've straightened the ball.
I don't think there was much chance of getting this as an LB, but what is encouraging for England, his first 2 deliveries, got it right on the spot.
And that's Jacques Kallis's half century. Very well played. Good bit of fielding stops the 2, but that's 1. Very solid innings. He's never played outside his limitations. He's played massively forward in defence. He's eased the ball around, but it's not been a flamboyant innings. It's been tailor-made to the conditions.
Partnership comes up. No real efforts being made to accelerate at all by Kallis and Kirsten. They've operated pretty much at the same pace throughout, but they know full well that weather permitting, there is an awful long time to go in this game yet. Might just leave a gap fine down to third man 2, and the boot not enough. Robert Croft made his 15 yards round the boundary edge to try and cut it off. Got there. Couldn't prevent it going over the line, and in the process allows Gary Kirsten to reach 50. 52 not out from 176 balls, and that was his 7th boundary. That's a good ball. Right line, just that little bit of extra something. And a late decision to take the bat out the way. We haven't really seen much indecision for some time. That was beautifully bowled.
That won't be heartening for the batting side, nor for the fielding side. This was only 2nd session of play on the first day. And you've got one that suddenly bounces, lifts, turns almost square. Not far away. That was very well bowled. He's got the one to jag and lift away from the left-hander. Now he bowls a straight one.
And that one was very close. You can see Gary Kirsten's concerned. He keeps pushing the leg forward. That's a sure sign that the batsman's a little concerned, but it probably would have just missed the stumps.
Well, if you're going to have that field, then you simply can't bowl half volleys on leg stump.
Very poor bowling, that one.
That's what they're looking for. That was a slower ball. Tempted on drive. The man at mid-wicket has been pushed back some 5 or 6 yards after that half volley went to the boundary.
Yes, this is well bowled, and it did turn a little bit, and it's gone a long way in the air. This is a danger period for Jacques Kallis. Gets out a lot in the 40s, 50s and 60s. And you can see they're pushing very hard. He didn't read that change of pace, so that's very well bowled by Dominic Cork.
Effort was there, but it was always just beating him into the boundary. A bit short and a bit wide. Going to get that. Umpire Doug Cowie is the international umpire from New Zealand.
Yeah, this one just going on with the arm, not really turning. Certainly not enough. He's a long way down. Alex Stewart's not convinced, but Robert Croft asked the question.
Kirsten looking for 2. Robert Croft, third man, opting to throw to the bowler's end, and Darren Gough opting to try and keep his still slightly damaged finger out of the way. Wasn't quite expecting that throw to come back to his end, I don't think. strapping on the index finger that was injured in the first Test match. He's been wearing protection on it in the field, but obviously not while he's bowling.
I think the best thing that could happen for England would be for Darren Gough to get a wicket. You know, coming on fresh after tea, after he's had a bit of a rest before tea, he's had time to change and get nice clean clothes on at tea time. He's now revving up. If he could strike somebody out quickly, he might have enough energy and go in him to get another wicket straight afterwards when the new batsman comes in. And then you sort of feel a positive element. It goes through the whole side. There's a bit of a lift, and you feel, well, we're back in the game a bit. But somebody, and it looks to me like Gough more than anybody, is the key guy who might get you a couple of wickets and lift everybody.
Well, that snuck its way through, but without claiming the wicket. Good dipping delivery.
It was almost like a lazy forward defensive shot. The ball went past the outside edge.
An edge this time. Bouncing short of the slip. 4 runs. Well, they're asking whether or not that's hit the pad first. It's certainly very close to it.
Yeah, it was a good shout, this. Pitched on, got forward. Probably what helped. Nicely bowled that by Darren Gough, just drew him a little bit wide. Yeah, nicely bowled here. He just drew Callis a little bit wide, inside edge.
Oh, well bowled. That's the first one past the bat for a while. Jacques Kallis just hitting a sticky patch here.
It's a similar sort of delivery than he bowled Liebenberg out with. Well pitched up, quick. Gets the batsman a little bit of a tangle with his feet. Never really gets forward. The feet get stuck in the crease.
That's gone fine. And it's a great effort. Robert Croft down there at long leg. The trap had been set. There was a man pushed out to deep square leg just in case there was a short ball coming, and Darren Gough attempting the Yorker. Just a fraction off with his line, but a great bit of fielding. That's well struck. There's a long chase here for Mark Ramprakash. And not quite making it. Brave effort again. Nice piece of work from Alex Stewart, but Gary Kirsten had his back foot grounded. Just a chance that the batsman might overbalance from that sort of position.
183 for 1, and it's Croft to Kirsten. Fine shot, plenty of footwork, and after overs of pressure, they eventually break the bonds. That was a rare attacking gesture from Gary Kirsten.
Really happy people, the South African cricketers. And Donald in the centre, talking to the bowling coach, Corey Van Sale.
Catch it, they shout, and the ball drops nowhere. Never catchable anyway.
Well, a large amount of bounce here from Mark Ramprakash. Gave it a nice amount of loop. Doesn't bowl with the same sort of speed as perhaps Robert Croft or Ashley Giles. It just came off the edge of the bat.
Almost got through.
Well, I remember former England captain Bob Willis saying to me that any debutant who does anything on in their debut match is a bonus.
$50 to 99. He's been dismissed 4 times. So let's hope he adds another century. Well, he's given that a clatter. That might well be 6. No, it's 4.
Just the problem Mark Ramprakash has, occasionally dropping the ball short. Someone like Cullis with 92 on the board, very quickly onto it. And that only just fell short of the boundary rope.
That's a lovely shot. That's a beautiful shot. And that's a century. Off comes the helmet, up goes the arm. Great jubilation for Jacques Kallis, who scores his 2nd Test century. Acknowledged by the whole crowd here at Old Trafford. It's been a cultured innings, full of good strokes, but never extravagant and extremely patient. And it's a record partnership for South Africa in Tests at Old Trafford. Nicely placed again and beautifully timed. They'll take an easy 3 there. $11 runs coming off the over from Mark Ramprakash. 200 comes up.
That's been the problem with Ashley Giles. He bowls a series of good balls and then suddenly he'll drop one short and give the batsman a bit of width. And Jacques Kallis is very good. Square of the wicket, slightly forward a point or behind.
Very classy shot.
Got it away from the man at mid-on. Not a convincing stroke, and it won't go for 4. But that shows what can happen when you have accurate bowling.
That one really has turned. That's a beautiful delivery. Bowling just a tad slower now, and I think it shows. You see it turning beautifully past the bat. That is a very good delivery and very encouraging. Yes, that's a difficulty when you are bowling slowly. You've got to be so precise with the length. If it's just a little bit short, so slow and turns so slowly, the batsman's got plenty of time to get back and really punch it into the gap.
You're not in for 1, and it's awful when you drop a catch off someone else's bowling. Just adds a little bit of insult to it when you drop it off your own.
This man ought to come up to gully. He does just swing the odd ball, or if the batsman plays a little early. Oh, there. The sort of delivery. That's been the story of the day, nearly, but not quite.
And the partnership record now broken. So these two have quietly been notching up a few milestones this afternoon. Now the new holders of the all-time second wicket highest partnership for South Africa against England. There's a chase for Angus Fraser. And the ball's going to win.
That's a very good effort from the South Africans, and still plenty of batting to come. Cullinan and Cronje and Rhodes, who made 100 at Lords. Lance Klusener, the bludgeoner, and also a very, very good player, and one who carries the attack to the opposition. Boucher, we know he's an accomplished batsman as well as the wicket-keeper. And then Donald, Adams and Mackay and Tierney, 237 for 1. Now the bowling figures. The England bowlers did quite well actually, although they only took the 1 wicket. They did well in the sense of keeping the runs down. Gough, the wicket taker, at a cost of 64. Cork had 51 taken from 18, Fraser 19 from 13, but didn't seem to be much spark about Gus Fraser today, and the pitch certainly wasn't giving him very much assistance. I thought the 2 spinners bowled well, although they went wicketless. Croft 24 overs for 42, Giles 17 overs on his debut for 41, and once he settled down, I thought the left armour did a very good job for Alex Stewart, 17 from 5 overs for Mark Ramprakash. Tomorrow we'll be on BBC 2 for the first time in this second day of the Cornhill Test match. 10:50 AM will be the time, and I can assure you that this has been a day to savour for the connoisseur. The South Africans won the toss, and it was a good toss to win. We knew that because of the composition of the England team. They played 2 spinners. They know what the pitch is going to do, and they won't be all that happy to have that many runs on the board. And the new ball just taken, the second new ball, they do have the hard and shiny ball to have a go at Kirsten and Callis first thing in the morning, but it's going to be a long, hard road ahead. The highlight of the day for me, Cork is the bowler, and he's bowling to Gary Kirsten. 98 becomes 99. That single produced a new record second wicket partnership for South Africa against all countries. It was previously against India in Calcutta, where Kirsten made 133 and Cullinan 153 not out. And he gets it off a short ball. Good 100 from Gary Kirsten. Need to underline that he hasn't been in the best of form in the major matches, but he's been making runs at the level against the counties. Good performance. Now Darren Gough. Short and wide and 4.
Well, that's a way to celebrate your 100, isn't it? Admittedly short and wide, but he didn't play anything like that yesterday. Really did race off the middle of the bat. Well, again, the good fortune is on South Africa's side. Darren Gough just getting a fraction of movement to Jacques Kallis. Jacques Kallis being able to edge that one wide of second slip.
Drew him into the stroke, and it turned out to be a false stroke. Just had to hurry his shot a bit.
That's very cleverly bowled by Darren Gough. South Africans feeling that it's an easy morning so far. They haven't had any short stuff to play. They've just been lured into coming forward.
I think that'll be very comforting for the England dressing room. The ball running along the ground to the keeper. It was just outside off stump. Batsman didn't have to play at it, but it's an indication that there could be some uneven bounce as this game goes on. beautifully placed. Outfield is quite fast again. May even be a little bit quicker than yesterday. Lovely square drive from Gary Kirsten. Not all that bad a ball. It was up there for the drive and therefore the chance of the edge stroke. Oh, what a beauty. An absolute Bobby Dazzler. Darren Gough has ripped one through Jacques Cullis's defence, and that takes some doing because Cullis has made 100 and he was in beautiful touch again today.
Well, I'm not sure even he can understand how he missed this one, but it was an absolute beauty of a delivery. Just pitching on off and straightening, and the way Jacques Cullis was playing that, it looks as though he was looking to move the ball through the leg side. Just opened him up like a can of beans, and the off stump was knocked back. Wonderful innings by Jacques Cullis. Never looked in any great trouble at all, and he eased the ball around this Old Trafford pitch here beautifully. Getting a generous round of applause from all concerned, and very well deserved.
Now Daryl Cullinan is the new batsman.
Still plenty of batting to come. Hansie Cronje next. Jonty Rhodes, who was man of the match at Lord's. There's that inside edge again. There was that stroke of luck first thing yesterday morning for Gary Kirsten, with an inside edge going past the leg stump. Safely a couple of yards short of second slip. This has been one of the problems on a pitch that's low in bounce.
And this is good bowling by Gough again. Just went away a fraction, but not enough bounce. That's going to be the problem for the England bowlers, in fact for the South African bowlers as well. That's good bowling by Dominic Cork. Much fuller. It swung a bit. You'll watch the swing in the air. Caught Gary Kirsten by surprise, trying to whip it away on the leg side. Got that inside edge again.
Well, it was wide, and Daryl Cullinan just itching to get off the mark here. Went after it. It wasn't a great shot at all. That's got to be close. They've given it everything. The appeal, a concerted one from all around the field. A few of the crowd joining in too.
Oh, this is a very good shot. He's bowled from close to the stumps. It's probably just moved enough to create a little bit of doubt in umpire Peter Willey's mind.
Well, that's beautifully played. Natural stroke maker, Daryl Cullinan, and it was beautifully whipped around. Fine on the leg side, and that's 4 runs. Beautifully played. Wasn't badly bowled, it was very well up. Just a little trouble with the line there, but I know Dominic Cork was trying to get that Yorker in there. Just reared on the leg side. It was jammed out into one of those very sharp leg glides.
Well, it is a funny game, isn't it? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that ball. Similar type ball to the one Croft has been bowling all along. Man's brought in close, so Kirsten leaps down and smashes it off the centre of the bat through extra cover. Ashley Giles, left arm spinner. He's coming on the Stretford end, and this is the second stage in his development as a test player. Made his debut yesterday. Well, that's worth a shout if it were the top spinner.
Very difficult for the umpire to give a decision here, because he's not sure how far the ball's going to turn.
Just as lunch is about to descend upon us, Gary Kirsten has started to get cracking. It's the single to Coleman. 300 up for South Africa, 2 wickets down, the wickets of Liebenberg and Jacques Kallis. Kallis got a very good delivery from Darren Gough this morning.
No problems there. That's going to be 4 runs to Daryl Cullinan. He batted in somewhat restrained fashion before lunch. Didn't have much to go at. Darren Gough especially bowled very well at him when he first came in. This one's just too close to leg stump. But a fine shot nonetheless. No doubt, Daryl Cullinan quite a long way down. Umpire Doug Cowie from New Zealand has shaken the head.
Yeah, it's a good shout, but it's angling in. Got a good stride forward. Might even have been outside off stump. A lot of doubts there for the umpire.
Yeah, fine shot. Very easily stroked away by Daryl Cullinan. Only just a fraction overpitched by Darren Gough. He's trying to get the ball up there, give it just that little chance to do something in the air. That was pretty much through in the slot.
Batsmen should be able to stay in, no problem at all. They may have difficulty getting runs. Not so easy to play the shots, although it looks now as if he might be going to come out of his shell. And if he is, I think that's right. He's got South Africa in a good position as Kirsten. I would have expected the South African captain to say to him, now, see if you can get after the bowling a little bit. We're in a position we shouldn't lose the game. Now we've got to think of winning it.
Well, in the end, the single given away. There was a cry out, a shout of dive from Alex Stewart behind the stumps. A little bit in jest, but Dominic Cork got to the ball very easily. He's got there with the left hand and booted it into touch. More Man City than Man United, I think.
That's been clobbered away, no doubt about that, with the spin. Nothing wrong with that at all. Clattered away by Gary Kirsten.
Well, this one's floated up, but Kirsten 133 before that shot, now 137, no outfielder. Not really a dangerous shot.
Well, there we are. That's the fruit of floating it up outside off stump and bringing the batsman forward, and that one going straight on. But I can't think of many spinners, in certainly my day, who would have bowled without a man out there. He's pitching the ball outside the off stump, so it's as you say, the leg right across, covering the stumps, an easy and natural swing of the bat with the spin. And you need a man out there, you need to protect yourself. Well, that's a terrific shot. 4 runs all the way.
Well, the acceleration has begun, and Daryl Cullinan realising there's not a lot of turn still, and any that there is very slow. And I think Ashley Giles just saw him at the last minute try to fire it down leg, but Cullinan in a beautiful position just picked it up, half volleyed it straight over mid-on's head for 4.
Great shot. Another attempted quicker ball, but a flashing blade outside the off stump. That's the very best of Daryl Cullinan.
This is magnificent. He's tried to bowl it quick, and Cullinan has just responded so beautifully. That is a lot quicker. 64.
Oh, well, there's a bit of luck there for Kirsten. A large slice of luck, in fact, because the ball's gone for 4. But I think Gus Fraser would have imagined that that ball would have been chopped down onto the stumps.
He's used this to good effect, Gary Kirsten, I beg your pardon. He's trying to run that away down to third man, and it's far too close to the stumps.
Brilliant shot. Line this time crashed away outside the off stump, just a little wide from Angus Fraser, but it's the 150 comes up for Gary Kirsten. What a fine innings. Well, there's a bit more in that. He applauds Gus Fraser. He gets a bit of bounce for the first time.
Wow, that's interesting. And that really did bounce, caught everybody by surprise, even Alex Stewart taking it up by the throat.
Great shot. Overpitched and wide of the off stump, just giving Kirsten room to swing that bat.
They get 3 for that if they're quick enough. Prakash was fast under it. He's trailed there by Cork. That kept it down to 2. Very neat indeed. And affectionate as well.
Oh, how sweet. They haven't really made their mind up, and both got a foot to it and ended up in the gutter. Well, there you go. Yes, I think that's exactly it, but the one thing you don't want to do is bowl short and wide. Well, that's very good running. Very frustrating from Dominic Cork's point of view. Got the inside edge of the bat from an extravagant shot by Daryl Cullinan.
Good shot. And Nick Knight, the man out there. If this pitch is going to do anything much, it's most likely to offer more to the spinners as time goes on. Maybe a little low bounce will come into play later in the game too, but it's most likely to offer a bit of turn from those ends, specially prepared by Peter Marin. Nice idea from Dominic Cork. Slow ball off spinner, beating the bat. That's a fine shot. Too good for Nick Knight out at deep cover. Given plenty of width that time, Gary Kirsten, but he waited nicely for the ball and placed it away behind square.
Yeah, he got the width here so that he could use the pace of the ball as well. That's what you want on slow surfaces. Anybody who gives you any width, pull shot, hook shot, square cut, get your arms away from your body.
Well, he's finally made it. Daryl Cullinan, 50. It's been a long wait, the last 20 minutes or so, to get from 49 to 50. But overall, he's been scoring a run every 3 balls or so, and pushing it along nicely. He's got that in the air. Robert Croft down at long leg, can't get to it. And 6 runs. Well, Gary Kirsten spent most of the game ducking underneath these. That seemed to hang in the air for some time, but it carried the boundary.
Yes, there must have been just a moment when Dominic Cork thought that it might have been catchable, but Robert Croft couldn't get to it. At least it induced a shot in the air, because nothing else has looked as if it's going to bring a wicket to England.
Ashley Giles has pulled off quite a good save.
It's a good piece of fielding, got the body behind it. Didn't quite get it cleanly in the hands, but when you get the body behind it, that's the main thing. Quickly, and a good throw in as well.
That's a good shot for 4. Golfers tried for the Yorker, and it hasn't got up quite far enough into the block hole. Finished up a nice long half volley.
Yep, it is a nice long half volley, but you've got to put him away, and nobody puts it away better than that. Beautiful footwork, weight going right into the shot, hands going through it. He knows where the gap is, and that's how to play an off drive or cover drive either. And Cullinan, one of the best in the world at doing that. There's still lots of batting to come from the South Africans. Hansie Cronje next, then Jonty Rhodes, Lance Klusener. If he gets in, there'll be some boundaries.
It's not where Gary Kirsten intended it, but it's still going to be 4. Because that may have been the top edge or even the back of the bat.
Gary Kirsten and Daryl Cullinan increasing the trouble for England. They've done it very well, following on a big partnership between Kirsten and Callis. More heartache for England.
Nicely picked up. Good quick throw on the turn.
Yes, moving down the wicket, immediately set off just on the left-hand side, and I think he was home anyway. Very good piece of fielding and good running as well.
That's a good shot. Finds the gap. But there are 2 men out deep on the onside. There's one of them. Dominic Cork. And he's home. And up goes Kirsten's bat, because that's 200. a double century. He's delighted. He set off, I'm sure, only for 2 runs, and then they saw the possibility of the third, and jubilation for Gary Kirsten. Really has been the rock on which this innings has been built. He's never pressed too hard. He's played well within his talents and picked up his runs exactly the same place as he's always picked them up. That was a big shout from Alex Stewart. I think that Croft only joined in. He's got to straighten it from there, and that pitch is on and just going down the leg side. And that's in the air. It's a really risky shot. It's one of the few shots we've seen where the batsman not quite to the pitch of the ball, but Gary Kirsten gets away with it. Oops, that's out. He's gone at last with an old ball in its 79th over, or the 80th over rather. They can't believe it. Second ball of the over. The first one rose a little bit there, and the second brought to an end this long and gallant innings by Gary Kirsten. 210 runs to his name. Loud applause round the ground. Good crowd here today at Old Trafford. And what a foundation he's laid for South Africa's innings. It's 439 for 3.
Well, a little bit of a surprise to see him nick it. The ball was there for hitting. Probably just a little bit of tiredness. Maybe he tried to hit it a bit too hard, but nobody could be critical. He's given a good performance, solid. Too many exciting shots, but he's done the job. Kept an end going, and it'll be a relief for Gary Kirsten after he's had quite a bit of a lean run. Just come into form with that double 100 against the British Universities before this Test match, and then he's made another double 100.
And the incoming batsman now is Hansi Cronje. A difficult time to come in, and everyone's got runs ahead of you. Sitting there with the pads on a long time. Now then, do we need medical attention? Something in the eye, I mean. It was never going to work, was it? The wicketkeeper trying to get through the grill with his wicket-keeping gloves on. A delicate operation like that.
It's straight down the ground. Nicely struck. Hansi Cronje off the mark eventually. Taking him 11 balls to achieve that. And he's gone down the pitch. It's just going to elude Darren Gough.
Well, Ashley Giles would have been desperate for this one to go to hand. First Test wicket opportunity. And Darren Gough just out of reach. Minor success that for Ashley Giles.
Well, this is interesting. This is actually going to be quite fun. Hansi Cronje deciding that he knows full well he wants runs as quickly as possible. And he's gone down to one. He's given himself room for the second one here. This is actually going to encourage Ashley Giles because he's taking risks. It gives the bowler a chance. That's beaten Dominic Cork. Now he's got some work to recover. It's not going to go to the boundary. There'll be 3 runs to Hansi Cronje, who is showing some adventure, using his feet to both seamer and spinner. That's bowled him, clipping the top of the off stump. And Ashley Giles has his first Test wicket. So something to celebrate, modestly. It's the end, though, of Daryl Cullinan. He might have had eyes on that 100, but he's out for 75 now. Just giving himself room to play on the offside. And a little extra bounce, I think, just clipping the top of the off stump.
Yes, just backing away, and looked like the arm ball, he might actually have got an outside edge onto it, which sent it onto the stumps. But it doesn't matter how they come for your first Test wicket. It's just a very important landmark. And Ashley Giles can now say that he's got a wicket in Test match cricket. And here's a live wire walking to the crease. Jonty Rhodes, man who's been in terrific form this summer in the Test matches.
Nice work. Ramprakash under the helmet at short leg.
Well, even at this late stage of the game, fielders have got to be on their toes. Certainly Mark Ramprakash was there. The end of a good over by Ashley Giles.
Brilliant between the wickets. He's also fresh. Oh, worth asking. Didn't get up at all. The chance of the pull shot was there, and Rhodes loves the pull and the hook.
Well, there's no wonder it got the England players a little excited. It looked a funny old cramped shot in the end. I think the umpire was right.
He's given that a bit of a flail away on the offside. Hasn't got enough bat on it for it to go to the boundary, but they picked up a quick 3. That's a good shot. He waits for anything just a fraction short. Plenty of gaps out there on the onside. And if it only just made it, then I suppose you can say at least it got there. That ball looks a bit battered at the moment. Just there. 3 more runs added to take the final score on to 487 for 4. Beginnings from Gary Kirsten, 210. South African opener Gary Kirsten hadn't had a great Test series before Old Trafford, but yesterday, having batted almost 11 hours, scored 210. It was a splendid innings, fine performance from him, and South Africa's first double century since their readmission to Test cricket in 1992. Well, today it's vital that England's batsmen take advantage of what so far seems to have been a pretty good batting pitch, and that will be needed if they're to save the game, and it'll certainly be interesting to see how the South African bowlers perform on this pitch. Well, welcome to the highlights of day 3 of this Cornhill Test match at Old Trafford. No real joy for England so far on the way through, as is shown by the cards. at the start of play. 487 for 4, the South Africans. Kirsten, the 210 we mentioned. Jacques Cullis, a fine innings from him, 132. Cullinan, 75. I thought he played well yesterday. And the overnight not-out batsman, the skipper, Hansie Cronje, on 27. And Jonty Rhodes on 12. Bowling figures, Darren Gough was the best, I thought, 2 for 95. That's reflected in the number of wickets he took. 2 great deliveries to pick those up. Angus Fraser did well. He was steady enough. 32 overs, 11 maidens, 1 for 72. Ashley Giles on debut, 36 overs, 7 maidens, and 1 for 106. Well, the pitch so far has looked good. Here's David Gower now to tell us about the third day.
This pitch has lasted very well, especially the bit in the middle where the seamers have been operating from. That still looks very much as it did at the start of the game. What we've been waiting for is for the ball to turn a bit. Ashley Giles yesterday used this bit of rough here to try and get a couple to turn from outside the right-hander's leg stump. But the bit that we need to look at is this bit here where it's just starting to ruffle a bit. 1 or 2 loose patches near the cracks here, and that might just start to go a bit more today. But I think really this third day it's still going to play pretty well. Maybe tomorrow we might see more wear here. We might see more balls actually turning from straight. But for now, keep batting.
Thanks, David. Well, it sounds as though the pitch is still going to be quite good. Be interesting, though, to see what the South Africans can do. First ball of the day coming up now, Darren Gough, the bowler. He's at the Stretford end. Hansie Cronje takes strike.
That's a quick single, and well, nearly a dramatic start to the day. What was a dodgy 1 turns quickly into 2.
Well, I think this is going to be the order of the morning. The South Africans being frantic to get some quick runs.
That's out. That's mistimed. Caught by Dominic Cork at mid-off. Jonty Rhodes' first ball of the day. It was a positive shot, but he was just that little bit early on it. Seemed to stop a little bit on the pitch. Jonty Rhodes gone for 12.
Well, I think we've seen this a few times in this match where the pitch is very slow and Jonty Rhodes is through his shot far too early, timed it beautifully, and it flew to Dominic Cork at mid-off, but just through the shot a little earlier.
Oh, beautifully bowled. Well, that is a fine delivery. First ball to the left-hander.
Well, and some significant turn here. Exactly off the area that you were talking about in your pitch report, David.
That's an edge, and there's going to be 4 runs. Always frustrating for the bowler in this case, where defence has been the order of the day. Very awkward. And, well, 4 runs will be added to the total. It's clanged off the helmet, I think. Certainly leg byes signalled by Doug Cowie. And Lance Clusney got himself in a very awkward position.
When you get deliveries like that, I think it's just self-preservation. That was another brute of a delivery from Darren Gough. He really has woken up this morning with fire on his mind.
That's a huge hit. That's certainly come out the meat of the bat. Well, something had to give.
Yes, no great style that from Hansie Cronje, but very effective down the pitch, and a cross-batted hoik.
One down to third man brings 50 for Hansie Cronje. 50 from 79 balls. So that's been good quick stuff.
There's a man out at deep square. That is a very good shot. We'll need a bit of camera work on that. Mike Harvey of Lancashire did a good job there, but I'd need just to check to see if he was in contact with the rope the instant his hand grabbed at the ball. It'll be a 4. Well, it's the sort of thing would happen towards the end of a limited overs international innings, where the batsman will give himself a bit of room to shape the shot and then club it away. There are some big scores listed there. These are matches at Old Trafford. Well, there's their split-second judgments. Nasser Hussain was the fieldsman. Just a question of how quickly Stewart could have got up there. But both batsmen were saying hello in the middle of the pitch. That's beautifully placed. There are 2 men out in the boundary in front of batsman. There's the declaration. 550 was the point at which they were aiming. Hansi Cronje has reached that by smashing one away over extra cover. 552 for 5, a big score. South Africa there in their first innings. 69 for Cronje and unbeaten. Klusener 17, not out, a half-century partnership for that pair, and very valuable in the context of what the South Africans wanted on this third morning. The follow-on figure 353 for England now, and their bowlers. And Darren Gough once again bowled splendidly out there. 3 for 116, Cork none for 109, Fraser 1 for 87 at the finish, and Robert Croft none for 103, and Giles wasn't used today, nor was Mark Ramprakash. So this is what is needed now, 353 to avoid the follow-on. All 10 wickets standing, and we're going to join play in the first over. It's the second ball. Alan Donald is the bowler from the Stretford end. Nick Knight is taking strike. No runs on the board as yet.
Beautifully bowled. And look where that was taken by the keeper. Reverse palms, chest high. And so Atherton and England are off the mark. Nicely played, nicely placed. Down to the pavilion. And that's the shot he plays so well. It's not the place to bowl at Atherton. Cracking shot. That was sideways. That was beautifully timed. And I think Lance Klusener will learn now that he mustn't bowl at leg stump and he mustn't bowl short, as England bowlers demonstrated plenty of times.
This is a super shot. He really does get back. Look at the high left elbow. That really keeps the bat on line. A very good shot from Mike Atherton. He's seen it short. He's gone back. Hasn't tried to hit it too hard.
Oh, beautifully bowled, and that must be close. Beautiful length, and he had Atherton hopping back in no man's land there. Let's take a look at this as it cuts back in.
It's really darted back in at pace. Look at that. Wow, we haven't seen anything move like that. That's too high. More out of excitement, I think, that shot. You can see it's hit him above the pads. Would have definitely been going over the stumps.
And there's another big shout with a fine ball. It was well up this time and beat Atherton for pace. It's quite a different dimension to see a class fast bowler like Donald go at it, but going down leg side this time. Good shot, and that gets through. Beautifully played. As soon as he's seen a looser ball, Michael Atherton has pounced in it. But all the shots, we know that. He kept it down nicely, rolled the wrists in it, and that's gone racing for 4 down to third man. In the gap this time, and that'll race away for 4 more rounds. John T. Rhodes thought of extending the sprint because it rather slowed up in the outfield, green lush outfield, but it was nicely placed.
Well, they're asking the question, and Nick Knight has walked. It was a nasty delivery from Alan Donald. It was straight, short and quick. And I don't think Nick Knight really got himself into the right position. Short of 90 miles an hour. And you can see, well, the head turned right away. There's no idea what's going on. You sense it as a batsman that it's short. You sense it that it's straight. Once you take your eye off the ball, you can't make any final adjustments, and it's hit the glove very hard. Nick Knight was hoping, as much as anything else, that ball was going to bounce a bit higher. And Mark Boucher was very quick off the mark. So Nasser Hussain replaces Nick Knight. And he comes in at a time where Alan Donald is certainly loose. That's a pretty hard clang on the side of the helmet. And again, it's because the ball hasn't bounced as much as the batsman's expected. Time now to inspect the damage on the outside, and hope there's not too much damage on the inside.
Well, the worrying factor is there that he didn't get up very quickly. Really was quite a hard hit on the side of the head. Mike Atherton certainly has felt that.
Oh, that's vicious. That is a really quick, nasty delivery. Given what's gone before with the slightly uneven bounce, this is dead straight. There's nowhere to go. Michael Atherton standing up to it. And it's the first time in the series we've seen this man, Micaiah Ntini. According to Bob Wilmer, the South African coach, Ntini's been bowling very well over the last couple of weeks. Good attempted Yorker from Ntini.
Well, I've known people who have played for 15, 20 years who can't bowl deliveries like that. 5 years playing cricket, and he's got the Yorker right on target.
That was very, very well bowled. The batsman couldn't do anything about leaving it go. He tried to get his bat out of the road in the end, but it really needed a stroke, a defensive stroke, to be played at it in the first instance, and that's a superb effort. And that, I think you'll see on the replay, was an amble in and an absolute blister of a ball.
Had to play it, nothing that he could do, Hussain. He really had that difficult ball just about chest high. Not sure whether to duck it or play it. Just watch where this goes past him. He fends at it. And it's just absolutely on a perfect length. There's nothing he can do. Trying to pull the hand away. Just got a flick of the finger. And Nasser Hussain is on his way, so England lose their second wicket, 34 for 2, and Alan Donald has done it again.
Stewart short for mark straight away. They should get 3 there. Atherton is quick enough coming back for the second. And Tierney has moved across the ground very, very fast. Got 4 for that, but it was a very good delivery. The batsman to get an outside edge on a ball that's starting back at him from outside the off stump. And it's been well bowled.
Yes, that one, he's played right across it with the bottom hand. In fact, lucky to get away with it. That's what's happened most of the time on this wicket.
Good shot for 4. Nicely placed. You've got to take advantage of everything that's a little bit loose in a situation of this kind. Stewart did just that.
He's trying to bowl the flighted delivery, and he's just bowled a full toss, and Alex Stewart too experienced not to put it away. You'll see here it's just nicely flighted, and he's got it before it's bounced, and no trouble putting it away.
It's well fielded. Almost a replay of the ball earlier in the over where Stewart got 4.
Yes, it's a carbon copy. I think Adams was ready this time, though.
When he does that, got him into the stroke. It's a flamboyant shot. Flat bat. I don't think it was really up there for that shot.
Well, I think Alex Stewart played this very much on width. With the ball supposedly turning away from him, decided that he had enough room to flail his arms. He connected extremely well, found the gap. There's no chance of anyone cutting that off.
Oof, and there's always the threat of that, and of course then suddenly he fires it on a good length just outside off stump, and very uncharacteristically Mike Atherton just prods at it.
Well, I don't think he would have played this type of shot had Alan Donald been bowling, but this is a very pivotal partnership for these two, crucial from England's point of view.
Well, he's found the space there, but not off the middle of the bat. It's an automatic, natural stroke, but it's a rather cracked sound to it. Beautiful shot. It asked for it. It was fast and full on leg stump, and Michael Atherton lies awake at night dreaming of them. Well, he wouldn't be lying awake and dreaming, but he imagines that this is what he'd like to have. He plays it so well. Only I lie awake dreaming. Well, he's drifting again down leg stump. Paul Adams. Wonderful throw. the quicker one, and it was a stifled appeal, really. Beautifully bowled, and Mark Boucher behind the stumps there fancied a little shout.
We had, in fact, had a letter at Lord's to say that did Paul Adams throw it? Well, don't think he does, because if you're going to throw the ball, you have to straighten your arm. He certainly bowls with a bent arm. He doesn't actually straighten it at any stage, so you can't class him as someone who would throw the ball in his bowling action.
That's a good shot. Just that little small margin of error, over pitching for Adams, and a very nice gentle follow through by Alex Stewart.
Well, it was a full toss, but when you're in a defensive mode, as these two seem to be a little bit, you can miss out on opportunities like this. It's good for the confidence not to do that.
We're told that these young boys are from Natal.
Great fielding. Jerry Liebenberg still with the helmet on. He's at short mid-wicket rather more than short leg, and about 10-11 yards from the bat, but it was nicely timed by Michael Atherton. It's an edge, it's along the ground, it's 4 runs. An international appeal to this game, apparently. Can't get the ground quite full of Mancunians, but we can drag a few in from cartoon land. Jonty Rhodes. Well, it looks a bit extravagant. Well, there's a man who is having fun. He enjoys his fielding. It's a challenge to him to stay alert and bright and to show off, really, just how good a fielder he is. There's nothing immodest about that. Well, I wasn't far away from Alan Donald at square leg. It's 4 runs. Just flicked away quite nicely by Michael Atherton.
Well, it was a nice shot and a poor delivery, wasn't it? Bangs it in short. Michael just helps it away. It might nearly have been caught, but it would have been a lucky wicket for Umtini. Captain set him afield. He's given him 2 slips, 2 gullies, 2 men saving runs on the offside, and he bangs it in short, hit on the onside. That's not smart bowling.
.50 partnership for Atherton and Stewart. Four runs. Well, they've really tried to pack that slip area from the Quarantine. He's going to feel himself a little unlucky here. He's got the edge, but it's a speciality of Michael Atherton. As Geoffrey Boycott was saying, he plays it late and just guides it down. It's very safe.
Well bowled by Antini, the batsman there who's in form, and to find a thickish outside edge there is quite an achievement. That's well bowled and given by the umpire. The batsman has waited, now has gone, but Mkaya Antini has struck, caught by Boucher, diving away to his right hand side again. 41 for Atherton, 120 balls.
This is a wonderful catch. Very full delivery. Pretty wide too. Squeezed it. And I think he thought he'd hit the ground and the ball had squeezed in there, but in the end it had caught the outside edge, and that's a very good catch by Mark Boucher. Well bowled, Kai Antini. First wicket in England, and Mike Atherton departs. 94 for 3.
New batsman is Mark Ramprakash. Hundred up for England, and cheers from the outer.
Well, it did the trick. Previous delivery had swung away from Alex Stewart. Whether or not that was in his mind for that one, we'll never know. But he's left it alone. The off stump has taken a battering. Jack Kallis has struck.
Well, I was saying in the afternoon session that I would have bowled him much earlier with the new ball. He's in good form. Things tend to go with you when you're getting wickets. It's like batsmen who are getting runs. A misjudgment there by Alex Stewart. But he's that sort of bowler, is Kallis. He's a sort of long arm action. Reminds me a little bit of Clive Rice, who used to bowl, a major batsman who bowled a bit. Long arm action, gets back there. And just purely a misjudgment of line by Alex Stewart.
Dominic Cork has come to the crease. Well, that's very close. He's forwards. There was just a twitch of the fingers. Peter Willey considered it very, very closely indeed. Nearly took the gun out the holster.
I think it just beat Cork for pace, just hurried on to him and going down. Yep, going down.
A little bit of fortune there for Mark Ramprakash, and I think that Alan Donald would be frustrated, no doubt. Opened the batsman up, he got really square on. Just watch this, the bat comes eventually in line and straight, but it come just about first slip. And that's gone high in the sky. Oh! Well, a terrific diving effort by little Paul Adams down there at fine leg. No one can spot the ball to start off. Dominic Cork appeared to aim it high to square leg. Paul Adams was much finer than that.
Given. No doubt in umpire Willie's mind there. And Dominic Cork has gone. Paul Adams has the wicket. Just a question from where we are behind the batsman of whether it hit bat first then pad, or pad and then bat.
I don't think there was any doubt in anyone's mind the way Dominic Cork walked as soon as Willie put his finger up. He knew that he'd hit the ball, and it was a comfortable catch. Just pitching outside leg stump, so no real need to play at it. But pad onto bat and lobbing very gently. Robert Croft in the side mainly as a bowler.
Good shot. That's beautifully stroked by Ramprakash. And beautifully fielded by Jonty Rhodes. The umpire may want to have a look at it, but that looked to be a superb slide and flick before his feet hit the rope.
That's a lovely shot. Mark Ramprakash using his feet. Paul Adams and very close to the boundary. Alan Donald, the fielder. Whatever Jonty Rhodes can do, Alan Donald can do as well.
And there's a good shot.
Well, it's good to see England playing like this. It was a long hop, has to be said. He's still got to put them away. Robert Croft was up to the task.
That's a fine shot. Once again, the fielder quick enough to retrieve it. That's all over, and in no uncertain terms. 2 standing, 1 down. That's the stumps.
Yeah, I think that was lack of footwork, David. He tries to stay back these days to the quicker bowlers, and trying to get better technique against the short ball, which he was susceptible to last year in particular. But this is a well pitched up delivery. I think he should have been forward there. See, that left foot never gets out of the batting crease. It's still on the batting crease, and I'm afraid that he may be better equipped against the short ball, but he's not so good against the well pitched up one.
And Graham Thorpe makes it onto the field for the first time today. We'll have to see how inconvenienced he may or may not be by his back problems.
Yeah, he's not playing at the ball, no shot. Hiding the bat behind the pad.
Yeah, it's the natural way to play initially. You're more worried as a left-hander about the ball popping up bat and pad. Oh, well bowled, he's got him. And Graham Thorpe caught on the crease again, caught well behind the crease. It was a ball of slightly fuller length than he picked, I think. So a very unhappy day for Graham Thorpe, most of the day on the physio's table, and a very short, unproductive stay at the crease. That's off the glove. Yeah, it's a sad end to the day. Just looking for something round the corner to keep in the strike.
I don't think he should have been sweeping at this stage of the game. Probably from that replay, it looks as if he might not have gloved it. It might have hit his elbow.
Well, it certainly could be forearm. All these different angles give different impressions, but it looks rather more as though it's come higher up the arm, unless it's just brushed off glove first.
One more run added to finish up at 162 for 8 for England. That is a very poor performance. The top score there, the skipper Alex Stewart 40, 30 for Ram Prakash, 41 for Michael Atherton. A lot of effort went into that, but in the end that is simply not good enough. South Africa have steamrolled them with batting, bowling and with fielding. It's a big task to face something like 353 for a follow-on, but the problems were started there by Alan Donald. 2 for 28 in 13, lovely spell of bowling. He wasn't needed much after that. Klusener none for 37, but Mackay and Tini came in with 2 for 28 and Paul Adams 3 for 48. Adams goes from strength to strength, 27 overs, 10 maidens in that lot, and very accurate, and had the chance of getting through for the breakthrough as well. And that's the situation at the end of the third day of this Cornhill Test match at Old Trafford. The bare statistics: South Africa 552 for 5 declared, England 162 for 8, a thoroughly disappointing performance. They're 390 behind, and they need 191 more runs to avoid a follow-on. Just on the right-hand side there, the bowling figures. Alan Donald 2 for 28, and Mackay and Tini the same figures. And those two South African cricketers talked with Simon Hughes at the close of play.
Now, it looked as if you were helping Mackay through his first test bowling in England. What sort of things were you saying to him back at mid-off there?
Well, I was encouraging him all the time, you know, talking him through a few batters and their techniques and where they score off. And, you know, I think Mackay has come on leaps and bounds, and he's responded magnificently at this level. And, you know, here we got a up-and-coming young fast bowler who's doing well for us. And he's a very fit boy, and, you know, hopefully he'll take a few more in the duration of this test match.
Mackay, how much of a help is it to have a great man like Alan Donald talking to you at mid-off?
Yeah, to see to be with the guys like Alan and Sean Pollock and Lance Klusener, the guys have been playing quite a while, you see, so it's quite a big experience to me. You see, everything he's saying to me, I'm taking it because he knows what he's saying and why he's saying it. It's a very good thing.
Your wicket of Mike Atherton today, did that give you great pleasure?
It is a great pleasure because as you've been bowling quite a while and not getting any wickets, so, and then you know that you're bowling tight and not giving away anything, so the wicket is definitely he's going to come, whatever way it is. So it's quite a nice thing.
So you're going to force the follow-on England, no doubt. What's the plan after that?
Well, I know it'll be, you know, I think it's always nice to win a test match, especially on this sort of track. And the way we've done it so far has given us a lot of confidence as a bowling side. And, you know, it's a long way to go. There's two days to go in this test match, and there's a lot of focus out there. And you know, we've got to wake up tomorrow knowing that we're going to get two very quick wickets and then get the job done. Hopefully, well, sometime tomorrow or the day after.
Two very happy cricketers there. One a champion, Alan Donald, and the other just starting his career, Mackay Rantini, and looking very promising as well. We're going to be back at Old Trafford tomorrow. BBC One at 10:50 a.m. South Africa added insult to the injury of 552 for 8 declared yesterday. By stumps, they had England 162 for 8, with Michael Atherton the top scorer with only 41. With England seeming certain to be asked to follow on, it'll be up to the South African bowlers if the third Cornhill Test match is to be wrapped up in 4 days. Well, welcome to the highlights of the fourth day. It's been 3 days of attrition so far as the England team is concerned, and not much success. Yesterday was a very ordinary performance, as is shown by the card at the start of the fourth day. 162 for 8. Atherton, we've mentioned him as having made 41 and top scoring. Stewart 40 and Ramprakash 30. But the bowling figures on the right are the impressive ones. Adams 3 for 48, he bowled a lot of overs. Donald 2 for 28 made the initial breakthrough with 2 great deliveries. And Mackay Rantini 2 for 28. England 390 runs behind, 191 more needed to avoid the follow-on. Now then, the pitch has played a big part in this game so far. Here's David Gower with his report.
Well, for the fourth morning of the game, the pitch doesn't really seem to have changed that much in appearance. The cracks, for instance, in the middle here haven't really opened up much. The surface still looks pretty much as it has done all the way through. One of the problems they had yesterday, the batsmen that is that the ball pitched halfway down didn't always bounce as predicted. And you can't really see from the surface itself why not. All you can say is that this is a relayed pitch. It's only been down for about 3 years or so. Therefore, it won't all have compacted in exactly the same way underneath. And once or twice when it was dug in short, it didn't quite get up as high as the batsman expected. That is awkward when you've got a man like Alan Donald bowling at you. But it's something you've got to cope with. Now, most of the time, it's going to be a pretty good pitch. The spinners have still yet to get much out of it. The rough at the ends hasn't really developed much, and the pitch is held together. So all it takes is a bit of guts, application, and I promise you, you can survive on this pitch.
Thanks, David. David Gower with the pitch report, and it'll be very, very important to see how that plays, because if England do have to follow on, then the new ball and the extra bounce will certainly come into it. We're going to join play now on the fourth morning. The second ball of the first over. Paul Adams is the bowler, and Ashley Giles is taking strike.
Oh.
Straight away, Paul Adams has managed to find the outside edge. an interesting starting delivery to Darren Gough. Got up to around about waist height from just short of a length, but didn't carry. Just away from the man at deep backward square. Not far away, just a yard or two. Those hanging baskets I was talking about, the little yellow flowers. I'm not quite sure about those. But one thing I am sure of is the word's been passed on to me that it's not always wise to sit directly under those hanging baskets. It's not that the birds come to peck away, but just that there is a watering system. At a certain hour of the day will burst into life. That's quite neatly done. It was Yorker length. Fast across the ground and with a good throwing arm too. Starts the play. Expect Ashley Giles to know what he's doing out there. He's made a first-class 100 and averages just under 30 in first-class cricket. It's a pretty good performance with Warwickshire. This is his debut test match. Oh, that's close. Might just have had enough movement in the air away towards the leg stump to persuade umpire Cowie it was going to slide down the leg side.
Yes, I think he defeated him a little bit by pace. It just slanted in a bit, and well, it might be going down, there might be a little inside edge. We can't tell about inside edges up here, we're too far away, but it gives the impression when it hits him, it may have hit leg stump or just slid past it.
That's in the air and it should be gone. Yeah, it's in the end quite a good catch. It was swirling around there. There's a very strong cross breeze out there today, and it was well taken. And that's 4 for Adams. Darren Gough has gone. Paul Adams has 4 for and a chance of picking up 5. Darren Gough caught by Donald. Good catch. You needed a little touch of experience there to be getting around under that and then having the wind take it away from you so that finally you've got to grab it away to your left.
Yeah, I thought there's some nice cricket there, Richie, by the South African captain who just said to Paul Adams to go around the wicket. And Paul who just tossed it up. I felt all along that patience would be a difficult thing for Darren Gough.
Last man in, Angus Fraser. The batsman have crossed, so it's Ashley Giles to take strike against Adams. Good shot. Waited on that short one and clubbed it away for 4 over sort of mid-wicket, but more around towards mid-on. Hit it as straight as he possibly could. Didn't hit too much across it. LBW. Angus Fraser going right across. May have been of the opinion that he's just been robbed of 4 runs. Yeah, it is LBW to Jacques Cullis for naught. And the final score for the England first innings is 183.
Well, that looks as if it's going down to me. I mean, it's well pitched up, it's quickish, he's gone over to leg glance it, and I think that's a roughie.
Yes, that one did look a hardly used in the context of the other bowlers there. Klusener none for 37. Mackay and Tierney 16 over 7 maidens, 2 for 28. Very good debut in Test cricket in England for him. And Adams 31 overs, 10 maidens, 4 for 63. Only a whisker away from picking up 5 in an innings. And Jacques Cullis 8.1 overs, 3 maidens and 2 for 10. So that's the situation at the moment. England 369 runs behind. And we join play now with the first ball of the England second innings. Alan Donald is the bowler. Nick Knight is taking strike.
That's a reasonably useful first delivery of the innings.
Yeah, he's full of confidence, Alan Donald, and that one really just nipping away off the wicket.
Well, still just this little bit of unevenness in the pitch. This wasn't a bouncer as such. It was short, dug in and nipping back a little bit at Michael Atherton, who looks very uncomfortable there. Now there's some pace here. Almost goes without saying, but Alan Donald just preying on little uncertainties that must be in any batsman's mind when he's seen what's gone before.
Well, he's got him set up beautifully now. 3 on the back foot. 2 of them spearing in, that one going away off the wicket. So great bowling by Donald. Just about due for the Yorker. You see that one just holding its own, not coming back. The 2 previous ones had come back at Atherton and he was allowing for that. Just very good bowling. Very tough for these batsmen, knowing that he can bowl out for 180. Still a long, long way behind.
Well, that's raced away. That's flown. Very fine. But called dead ball. And this is going to cause some conversation. Called dead ball, which implies that Michael Atherton wasn't playing a shot at the ball and it came off thigh pad. It was a quick delivery. I would say...
Or buys. No, well, that's interesting. This is the same wicket that we've played the last 3 days on. Amazing what Donald's doing out there. He's got a couple to seam back, 1 to go away. That one lifted sharply. So he really has got his rhythm going there.
Fearsome delivery. I think this pitch actually has done what some expected it to do, just hardened up a bit in the middle. It was a little moist underneath when the game started, not as hard as it would normally be here at Old Trafford. Here we are 3 or 4 days in. That patch in the middle is full of red marks where balls like this have pitched. And it's properly hard now. This is a fearsome one. That's out. Well, just fencing outside the off stump. And Mark Boucher, once again, the chance comes. He makes it look very easy indeed.
Very tough delivery. Angled in from round the wicket. You feel you have to play it as a left-hander. You've got to protect those stumps. And then it's just gone away, and Nick Knight just followed it enough to get the edge, and Mark Boucher makes no mistake again. This is the angle. You can see it. It's coming in towards him and then pitches, nips away and takes the outside edge. Just a great piece of bowling and supported in the field. Wonderful cricket from Alan Donald.
So Nasser Hussain, England's number 3.
That really hurried onto the bat, and Nasser Hussain did well to keep the ball down. And outside edge again, but this time on the ground, into the gap. There's no third man, of course. And Nasser Hussain has the discomfort of edging, but the comfort of seeing 4 more runs go on the board. Good shot. All that was in the timing. But on top of the bounce and nicely timed. Ntini is the new bowler. Whoa. That was quite quick, you know. Chris had beat him for speed, I think. He was very late on the shot.
Well, he's certainly a very fine prospect, this Mikhail Ntini. And just a little bit of extra bounce and zip off the pitch. No great lateral movement there, but size all round.
It's easy to see that Jacques Kallis is getting a little bit of swing, perhaps from wide to wider, but he keeps the ball in the air longer than someone like Ntini. Oh, another beautiful delivery that. It's just got the perfect length. Excellent line, and Nasser Hussain committed to the shot. Bowl him! And deserved to bowl him. Succession of wonderful deliveries. And Nasser Hussain is comprehensively beaten by Jacques Kallis. They really had sent down one after the other. Away swingers, the odd one moving off the seam, running away to the slips. And eventually he hit the stumps. Nasser Hussain goes for 5. And it's 11 for 2.
Nicely played. Favourite stroke of Michael Atherton's. Squeezed away, a square drive, and just forward of point.
Yeah, it's a little fallen wide, but he waited for it. Lovely high left elbow, bat coming down perfectly straight, playing the ball late, and so it goes squarer. Excellent.
Wasn't far away from the man at gully. One instant would have been a heart-in-the-mouth job for the batsman out there. Attempted square drive and just got away from him a bit. 4 men on the leg side, no one out in front of the umpire. Well, that gives Alex Stewart the opportunity to hit one past the umpire.
Well, it was the length here, a bit short. Ball just sat up.
Fieldsmen are enthusiastic, as they always seem to be. Always a lot of shouting and yelling goes on. Not a direct one, but perhaps off pad and flick of the glove.
Yes, and especially when you're in your first series, as Alex Stewart is, he's put that one away, and I think it'll just cross the boundary for 4. It was a full toss from Paul Adams and nicely put away by Stewart. Yeah, he's got a really difficult task. That's a beautiful shot. That's another one. He's flicked it through. It really was a little bit over pitched. I'm not sure why Paul Adams is bowling over the wicket here. He's bowling right into his pads, and he player of Stewart's ability. He can pick them off. I'd like to see him bowl. You can see him bowling over the wicket here, and it's pitched outside legs, nice and full. And Alex Stewart, just a flick of the wrist, all the body weight forward, making sure it goes along the ground. I'd like to see Adams bowl round the wicket, change the angle.
Four runs, that's welcome relief. Good shot from Michael Atherton, a little bit off the toe end, but found the gap.
Yes, the first really poor delivery from Alan Donald. It was in the air for quite a long time, but enough of the bat on it for Michael Atherton.
Oh, well bowled, that's an absolute snorter. I always tell it, so you get the pursed lips as the ball goes past, and then a smile as you realise you've missed it. Nowadays you get a check of the big screen too. That's going to be 4 runs.
And this is the reason for the smile. It hit very high on the bat.
Beautifully bowled. Well, this is what happens. Barry and I have just been talking, mainly Barry, about the fact that Paul Adams has been going over the wicket. First ball around the wicket, well bowled. Good shot. Clearing Lance Klusener, that's going to rattle into the boundary boards. It's certainly good to watch this as the fight back continues.
And that is not straight off the middle, but he knows where the fielder is. He crept in 1 or 2 yards, Lance Klusener.
That's 4 runs. It's short and quick, but steered over the slips.
Well, he wasn't in full control of this one either, but he got enough on the ball to make it go square. It was interesting. There's 2 slips for Alan Donald. He bowls very quickly, but not much has gone to slip the whole game. Nearly everything that's carried in the air has gone square of the wicket.
Best shot of the afternoon. Very quickly onto that back foot. He's had a little bit of practice now, Alex Stewart, these last couple of overs.
And again, we see Paul Adams just erring in line there. That's not the line. You want to make him play straight back down the pitch. That's what he should be aiming for.
It's a bit of pain, and more than just pain and damage to Jerry Liebenberg at Silly Point. It was well struck, and he turned his back on it. That's the standard tactic for the Silly Point. You see the shot coming, turn your back on it and hope that whatever damage is about to come is minimal. But Jerry Liebenberg straight away knew he had a problem.
It's struck very powerfully here. Look at that. And it's hit him right on the thumb.
Great delivery, attempted Yorker, right up there in the block hole. Well squeezed out by Atherton. That's the antidote to a diet of short pitch bowling in the previous over.
Oh, that's in the air, and had there been a 3rd slip, as they say. Really a quizzical look from Lance Klusener. Atherton wrinkles the nose.
Well, I've heard Barry Richards say that the ball that has gone squarer in the air and finer, and this is another case just wide of second slip. In fact, it probably would have been wide of third slip as well.
Oh, that must have been close, and that's exactly as Alex Stewart went in the first innings, padding up to a straight one.
This was very close.
Cracking shot, and that is typically Alex Stewart. Very often goes on width, and that's easily done at the Oval, but not on all pitches. But his talent is such that he can flick the wrists and lovely big follow through. Outside edge this time, and that gets away. It goes for 4 runs. Slice of luck to Alex Stewart, who moves on to his 50. He's the man who's playing the shots. Michael Atherton, in the meantime, is 29, looking perhaps a bit more solid. But that's just Alex Stewart. Lovely shot. Absolute perfection. Atherton quick to get on the front foot to the quicker bowlers. Lovely bending of the front knee, just watch that. And again, just over pitch. Now you can't blame Klusener for this. 2 excellent falls, because he's got 3 slips in there. He's seen Atherton play one through third slip, or just wider than that, from about there. So it's fair enough, I think, to keep firing the ball full length.
Very good stroke. It was a longish half volley. Probably hasn't saved it, I don't think, and I think Klusener understands that as well. We're having a look at the scoreboard now. Oh, it was just about a save. Yeah, just signal 4 now. It's a good call and beautifully placed. The first thing that happened there was it wasn't a bad delivery. Stewart played it beautifully, just perfect timing. And he called for the 1 straight away. Perhaps he didn't realise how good the timing was. Good partnership. Now there's something else for the crowd to cheer about. And in fact, where yesterday afternoon they were hooting a few of the England players when they went off the field, now they're hooting the South Africans when they get round to stop the boundary. And there is great applause for that 100 stand. And so there should be. That's a good stroke. He's kept that down. And now there are little signs out there in the centre. Jacques Kallis has just been swung away for 4 by Michael Atherton, and instantly he's turned round to the captain, Hansi Cronje, and asked for something to be done about a field change.
Good shot. Just about as straight as you can get down the ground. It's Lance Klusener giving chase to no avail. Lovely straight bat from Alex Stewart.
Had some wonderful shots. When he does get into line, he's such a good timer of the ball. Acceleration of the hands to the bat, nice high finish with the hands. Not quite off centre, but certainly enough on it.
Well, that is perfectly timed. It's also 50 for Michael Atherton. And in the circumstances, he allows himself nothing more than the gentlest of smiles, knowing full well that England are still deep in trouble here, but he's played very well. Four more, exactly the same place as earlier in the over. It's a free hit. It was too short and just sat there waiting to be hit. Beautifully struck. Just had to reach for it a bit at the end. .150 comes up for England, and in fine style.
Oh dear.
Well, there are smiles all round, but I think this is a slower ball. That was a dreadful, dreadful delivery for a batsman to have to face.
That's a classic. Beautiful stroke from Atherton.
Well, it seems that even the break-in for tea hasn't affected either Stewart or Atherton's concentration.
Well, it's a very good shot. He just didn't quite get it off the middle of the bat.
Well, it was almost like a tennis ball bounce, but Alex Stewart was going to go through with the shot, whatever. And he got onto it very nicely. That's their 150 partnership. They do like batting together.
In the air and it's safe. Hansi Cronje is just about to come into the attack. Medium pace from the Stretford end. He'll be one who'll be trying reverse swing. This is the 61st over. And 4 from the first ball. A real loosener.
Hansi Cronje, just a real loosener, and again, and most of the South Africans today have erred on the short side. Plenty of time to get back, pick his spot out.
Not out.
Yeah, good decision, Jeffrey. Paul Adams going from wide. That's well placed. Brian McMillan was up there close at short extra cover. It was past his left shoulder. Oh, great shot. Might not quite reach the boundary. Four more. That's beautifully played. What a way to go to 100. Beautifully timed. Nice little juicy offering from Paul Adams. But what a sterling innings this has been. Well played indeed, Alex Stewart. 101 not out from 178 balls. 14 fours included in that innings. Oh, byes this time. It was very wide. Well, 4 byes could almost have been given 4 wides. Save the blushes of the keeper. Well, the timing was good enough, and the placement also good enough. I think we've had enough of Paul Adams now. .200 up for England.
Short, and Stewart hasn't missed one of those. He's hit them all just in front of square leg, or occasionally gone a bit straighter through mid-wicket. A wide call there. 200 partnership up between Alex Stewart and Michael Atherton. Good performance. Brought England back from the brink of defeat to be in with a real good chance of saving the match. And if they do manage that, it'll be one of the great rearguard actions I've ever seen. 211 for 2, 114 to the captain, 81 to Michael Atherton, and a very good performance. After the first 2 wickets had gone down for 11, Knight for 1, and Hassan Cullis at a cost of 46 and 43 respectively. No wickets for Ntini, Adams, Klusner and Cronje. Now the state of the game, with 4 days gone and 6 hours or 90 overs for England to get through tomorrow, they're 158 runs behind, 552 for 5 against 183 and 211 for 2. It's worth dwelling again on Stewart 114 not out, Atherton 81 not out, a 200-run partnership and a very, very good performance. And at the close of play, Simon Hughes talked with Alex Stewart.
Alec, your 11th Test century, one of your more hard-working ones?
Yeah, certainly been hard work so far. Obviously a lot of cricket to be played yet. It's nice to get to the 3 figures. Hasn't been for a while. I think Auckland was the last one, wearing that white helmet. So this is the first one in the blue England helmet, and hopefully there'll be a few more to come.
South Africa make it a job to make runs against them?
Yeah, they bowl very well. Obviously they bowl well in the first innings and we batted poorly. The second innings, again, they've come in well. 2 early wickets. Rathers and myself have got stuck in, and we're still there. We know there's a lot of cricket to go yet, a lot of hard work. We're probably not even halfway to saving the game yet, but we've just got to see off the new ball tomorrow and then see what happens.
Have you got any explanation why it seemed easier this time to make a big score than it did in the first innings?
No, I mean, to be honest, I can't give you an honest answer. If we knew it, I'd like to think we'd have performed better in the first innings. I said before the game that first innings win or lose your games, and we certainly didn't perform in the first innings. We're doing better in this innings, but there's still 6 hours of cricket left, so there's a lot of work to do.
Does Mike Atherton inspire you as a partner in long partnerships?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed batting with him, whether in wandering out there together as an opening pair or joining him while I've been batting at 4. But no, he's an inspiration. He's done it before for England. He's doing it now for England as well. And no, we have a good partnership, good understanding, and hopefully it will continue.
Simon Hughes there talking with the England captain Alex Stewart, and an upbeat England captain too, and hoping very much for the saving of the game tomorrow, where our coverage continues. A wonderful 200-run partnership between Michael Atherton and Alex Stewart yesterday gave England new hope of saving this third Test match. Alex Stewart played a captain's innings, scoring 114 not out. It was his first Test century as skipper. With Atherton and Stewart at the crease overnight, the question is, can England bat through the day and deny South Africa the victory that at one stage seemed little more than a formality? Welcome to the final day of this Cornhill Test match and the highlights. England certainly have clawed their way back, and this is the way the card looked at the start of play. Second innings, 211 for 2. They were knocked over for 183 in a very poor performance at their first attempt. All that in reply to South Africa's 552 for 5 declared. England 158 runs behind at the start of play on the last day. Well, so far the pitch has played something of a part in this game. It's been slow and on the easy side, but with a little variable bounce. David Gower has more information on that.
Well, for this fifth day, it's extraordinary. There are very few signs of wear on this pitch at all. Just below my feet here, there's one little crater, which is just a little bit wide of our stump here on a seamer's length. You can see all down here the red marks where that new ball's been pitching throughout the course of this game. And that's going to be the major factor, I think, through the rest of this day. First thing this morning, the new ball's going to be hard and fresh, as are the bowlers. Atherton and Stewart, who played so well yesterday, are going to have to fight that through for the good hour or so that the new ball's going to be really effective. After that, I wouldn't expect it to turn much. We've seen over the last few days that Paul Adams bowling from this end up to the Stretford end there has tried going over the wicket, round the wicket, without really that much success in this second innings. I think the major threat today is going to be the new ball and that little bit of uneven bounce that's still going to be in the pitch.
Thanks, David. And we join play now with the fourth ball of the second over. Alan Donald is bowling. Michael Atherton is taking strike. 1 run has been added.
Very close. Very close. It's nice as a batsman to have a reminder of just how hard you have to concentrate. That's gone away off the pitch.
Well, the years fly by.
And no one's going to bowl like that. Need a wider bat. Either wider or thinner. That was a great delivery.
Yes, I'm not sure it did a great deal here. In fact, it actually came back into Atherton and he still played inside the line.
Good to see. That's a little vodka in the bottom of that, and that'll keep him going through the day. That's a good shot. He hasn't quite middled it. Monty Rhodes will reach it easily enough. And we'll keep it down to 2. Many other fielders might have allowed the extra run to be added. Well, he's finally got the ball past something, and it's Mark Boucher this time. 4 byes.
Makhaya Ntini, who's the bowler from the far end there, who is 21 today. And that's easy stuff for Stewart. He doesn't even bother to walk anywhere, doesn't move anywhere. He wafts it away. Not sure about the footwork. It was just a long hop outside the off stump. He paddled it away.
Well, I don't think he bothered too much about footwork. He just stood there and like swatting a fly, wouldn't it? Here, go and fetch that.
Well, that's a thick outside edge. It flew to the gully. There's a yell out there, but I don't see it was a catch. We probably need to see that again because it went so quickly. It certainly went for 4 because there's no third man posted. And this is how it happened.
Nothing's really gone to slip at all, no fine edge, because of the slowness of the pitch. All gone through the gully. Now, 1 or 2 have gone catchable, that didn't.
Oh, well bowled, that's quick. That's very good delivery indeed. And this is what we mean by wanting to be out there. He's been hit for a couple of 4s and he comes racing back with that beautiful ball, fast and straight. Oh, that's a fine shot. Just straying in line there. And, well, top-class players play that shot, all of them very well. Alex Stewart plays it with a real clatter. And this is another one. He caught it. What a wonderful catch. Ntini is the catcher. Well, happy birthday to him. My word, marvellous catch. It was threatening to drop short of him. The trap was set, and Michael Atherton at last fell for it.
Well, I thought it was a clever piece of bowling, really. Just saying about that ball before this one that he got out. Didn't sit up too much. Michael Atherton had to wait for the pull shot. Then he's given him another one, much quicker, a little bit wider of off stump. An excellent innings, but I think he'd just be kicking himself that he's been thought out by the bowler there. Really smart piece of bowling.
Partnership was 226 between Atherton and Stewart, which leaves Stewart there on 127. Ramprakash, the next man in. And it's not what England would have wanted, but just the breakthrough South Africa have been patiently waiting for.
A nice stroke. Didn't quite get it off the middle, but it'll be a confidence booster for Mark Ramprakash. Free for him, gets him up to the non-striker's end. Well, it came back very sharply. Might just have been a little too high. Only muted appeal. It might have been inside edge.
Yes, I think he just got an inside edge. Lovely piece of bowling, though. And I think we see on most of the deliveries from Ntini now, this is the thing he really has learnt since he toured Australia. He bounces the ball on the seam, and if you do that, it's the roughest part of the ball, obviously going to get some movement, even on a wicket which is pretty unresponsive for quick bowlers.
Well, that might be the result of bringing the man in close. Forcing shot, rather a wild forcing stroke off the back foot.
Yes, full marks to the bowler there. He was very unlucky not to get a wicket, and that's what pressure does for you. And Prakash trying to play not quite as naturally as he would off the front foot, trying to do that off the back foot, and really in no position at all.
And 4. Runs are valuable too, because at some stage, if the batsman can stay in, they'll get past the point where they're in arrears, and it'll be a case of South Africa having to bat again. And Klusener is having a problem with a foot. It's where he's been thumping it down or dragging it. Oh, he's got it away off, I suspect, rather a thick bottom edge. It was a good stroke, or a good fruitful stroke in the end. For a moment, and Ntini might have thought he was through.
So 8 runs off the over, neither of them off the middle. I think perhaps this might be Ntini's last, maybe one more, and then Paul Adams.
That's a beautiful shot. No worries about any sort of a thick edge with that. Magnificent stroke.
Yes, he's gone wide on the crease trying to angle it in, but he's got it too full, and Alex Stewart, he really is timing the ball well when he plays forward. Lovely flow of the bat. Minimum of effort, and away it went.
109 runs behind. Now, those runs are starting to become even more important. Lovely shot. Forward reach has produced the most glorious cover drive there from Mark Ramprakash.
Yes, he really does lean forward right into this. Watch the body really going forward into the shot.
Oh! That was well bowled, just slightly quicker. Squeezing through, but also squeezing wide of the leg stump.
Well, I just sensed there was a little lack of bounce here. Yeah, it's not getting up perhaps as much as Alex Stewart thought. That so very nearly got through the defences.
That's well away in front of square and nicely hit. Very controlled shot from Alex Stewart. $150 for Alex Stewart. And as far as he's concerned, he's only just started. Very well played indeed. $283 balls, 380 minutes, and 23 fours. And yes, that's even more graphic evidence that all is not well at the end of that left leg.
Well, it's just as he slams the left leg down into the bowling crease, begins to hobble. Seems okay now.
That's a good shot. Great fielding. Two more to Stewart. That was very well played by Stewart. He didn't launch himself into an extravagant pull or hook, but just gave it a little flick. The problem Adams faces with the footholds in this situation is that England are not attacking. Bowling into the footmarks on and just outside leg stump is fine, but you can't get an OBW, and the batsman can take you out of the game simply by padding you away. If the batsman's attacking, then the batsman himself has a problem. Ball spinning and kicking and lifting. But if the batsman's defending, then the bowler's in trouble.
Yes, it's just a bit of a stalemate, and that just shows you what they can do.
That's a fine shot. There are two men out there, and once again, the secret of that stroke was its marvellous control. Stewart looked as though he was waiting for it. Stewart's not going to go for the extravagant hook. And that's well run. Nice figures for Alex Stewart. 160 not out is the highest score ever in Test cricket by a captain wicket keeper.
Just going to have great difficulty in picking up an LBW with the angle that he bowls at. It's well worth a shot.
Problems for Donald there.
Yes, and he straight away, you can see, almost fell over Alan Donald. And he was hopping in the follow through.
And Donald now is going to come around the wicket to Ramprakash.
That's more as a result of on the other side of the bowling crease. Of course, it's nice and flat. There's no holes at all, and Donald just feels more comfortable. He's got more confidence on the far side. See there, very worn in that area, but here it's a lot flatter, and that's what he's looking for, so he can land his left foot in that area.
Just a fraction of an inch.
Just the change of angle there, and well, that's a fine delivery, a little bit more bounce.
Ooh. Well, it wasn't a great delivery. It wasn't a great shot in response either. And it wasn't far away from the outside edge. That was a very controlled shot, the ball after.
I think if I was the South Africans, I'd keep tempting Alex Stewart with an odd wide ball, and certainly with the odd bouncer. Yeah, he's always going to go for it.
That's in the air. In the air. Straight down the throat. Well, Geoffrey Boycott has predicted the demise, and Lance Klusener had been pushed back just at that ball. So it's the end of a very valuable innings from Alex Stewart. But the England captain is going to walk off still a worried man. We're half an hour into this afternoon session. England have a lot of batting still to be done to save the match. And it will be a while yet before Alex Stewart feels he can relax and savour the importance of that innings and savour the quality of it. Graham Thorpe, the batsman, Nick Knight, the runner. Graham Thorpe has been off the field for various reasons the last couple of days. He wasn't at the crease very long in the first innings. He made naught there and failed to take the field earlier in the day. Well, Yorker wasn't a bad start. Pretty quick one too.
Yeah, it's a good ball, but what surprises me is they're not putting any men around the bat on the leg side to him, are they?
That really is the perfect Yorker from Alan Donald. You can do without fielders for that sort of delivery. No wonder they're overjoyed. So an unfortunate pair for Graham Thorpe, and he'll make his way off very, very slowly back to the physio's couch. Very unhappy situation for him.
Didn't get down on this very quickly at all. It's a good Yorker, yes, right in there, but he wasn't really on the same line or quick enough.
Dominic Cork.
Well, Alex Stewart did ask for a far better performance than they gave in the first innings, so a little bit of steel is needed.
It's back on the stumps, it's bowled him. The defensive stroke beaten by the spin of the ball. It's rolled off the face of the bat, picked up a bit of extra spin and rolled back onto the stumps. Dominic Cork very quickly gone for one. England now 6 down for 296. Well, Paul Adams had to wait a long time for his first wicket of the innings. He was overjoyed when it came. Robert Croft on his way out now to the crease.
Guys, just like Lord's boy.
To take the place of Dominic Cork. Well, that's through the field. Mackay and Tina, the man, couldn't quite reach it with the dive. 2 will do. Runs off the leading edge. Many people, including the batsman, were looking to the leg side for that. And in the process, England passed the 300 mark, 301 now. Small bonus here for England, 4 byes.
Big shout for LBW. And for a catch and for anything that's going, I think. I don't believe it says Paul Adams gets the stare from Croft.
Well, it all happened very quickly. Pitched and actually turned quite a lot, bounced as well. And looks like it's just struck Robert Croft very firmly on the pad. Blown to slip. They were appealing, I think, for the catch rather than the LBW.
Good shot. It would be handy if he could be left facing the next over. And he races down and makes his ground. It's Croft running to the end where the ball was thrown, but well played, Mark Ramprakash. Very handy 3. And England move on to 313 for 6.
I just had the impression with the naked eye that that might have gone past the slip fielder, Darryl Cullinan, on the full.
Yes, he's certainly not in line and he's guarding it. And it would have been a pretty tough one, even if he'd been at second slip. Would have been one of those half volley jobs.
Well, that's very close. That is close, and it's out. Doug Cowie took his time, but that's the perfect start to this final available session of the match for South Africa. Ramprakash gone for 34, and that one just ducked back into him, kept a little low.
Well, it certainly looks plumb, but if he's outside the line, there's just a thought that he might have been outside the line when that ball hit him. It certainly was going to knock all lot out.
Ashley Giles is the man replacing him. That's over the top. It's safely over the top, and 4 runs. Has that carried? Yes, it's the very safe hands of Brian McMillan. He's on as a substitute fielder. He's one of the world's best slips fielders. And if it carries to him, he doesn't normally miss him. Ashley Giles just trying to take the bat out of the way, failing. And I think it's about the first catch that's gone to first slip all game.
Yeah, short ball, just to test out the tail ender. He decided late to try and get out of the way, so he bangs it in. He's sort of going to leave it, and then in the end it follows him, and he doesn't know what to do. But David's right, Macmillan's a brilliant catcher at slip.
There's Darren Gough coming in now.
Well, it's got to be a Yorkshireman and a Welshman that saves the game for England. Our producer is more confident about the Welshman than I am about the Yorkshireman.
Well, that's nearly pinned the keeper. Darren Gough survives, though.
Yes, it looked like an attempted Yorker that hit the footholes and then bounced.
It looked like a big shot. He hasn't middled it. We'll get 2 for it, though. Certainly gave it the full swing of the bat to Robert Croft, but not timing it. That's a better shot. That's a better time. Just a chase for Martini. It's still only going to be 2.
Well, I don't think he played that particularly well. Surprised by the short ball from Jacques Kallis. Didn't get himself into a very good position. Saw it late. That could well have come off the glove.
Beautifully bowled. Kallis has had the in-swinger with the old ball coming in. 72 overs gone, and now he's beaten him outside the off stump. 346 for 8. Now, England 23 runs behind. Minimum 17 overs. Keep whittling that down, and the runs are slowly coming down as well. 2 wickets remaining. Well, it's no wonder Jacques Kallis has not quite got his head in his hands. He's a bit tired to do that. But if there's a ball or a situation that's cried out for a man close in on the leg side, it's now.
Got.
Now they are very valuable runs. 350 comes up for England. A 2 and a 4 in this over so far from Paul Adams. Four runs, very valuable.
Well, it's that gully area again that brings 4 runs for England, but it went in the air a little bit, this. Yep.
Previous best 31 against New Zealand at Christchurch, 1996-97. More priceless runs. Adams will get to it, but not in time to save the second. .362 for 8. 7 runs behind now. 2 wickets remaining, 11.2 overs. 2 of those would be lost in a change of innings. Just short of Alan Donald. Good effort. He's bowled so long and he's had an injured foot today, and yet still in his follow through he's able to throw himself forward and try to effect the catch. Two more. Direct hit there. There was a bit of a hesitation at the bowler's end. I reckon a direct hit might have been very, very awkward. Go for 2 there. Johnny Rhodes has got it. Well, the crowd may not be great in numbers, but they're living every second of this. There's oohs and ahs. As soon as they saw it was Rhodes. That's very well played.
Yes, he made his statement here to the bowler that he's not going to be intimidated. Don't expect him to play it like an opening batsman or a middle order player. He's a tail ender, but he got behind it, kept it down. That's all you have to do.
That's well done, well fielded. Saved another 2 runs, Paul Adams. Well bowled. Everyone around the ground is agonising and living with Darren Gough and Robert Croft out there. And once again, rolling applause around the ground for another over where England have survived. It's a beauty, an absolute beauty. Well, it looked on the television screen to me as though it had gone past the outside edge of Darren Goff's bat.
Well, Darren Goff is
quite so.
Darren Goff is pointing to his arm. That's exactly right. Tremendous amount of pressure being put on by these South African fielders and bowlers.
Well, he's got him round the wicket, the bouncer, and it's been played away to short leg, and now there's more drama. Darren Goff has lasted for a long time, over an hour. 78 minutes in all for 76 balls. Finally, Donald gets him, caught at short leg by Kirsten. Kirsten moved into position there because of the injury to Liebenberg, and now Angus Fraser is the man getting up out of his seat and walking up. England 367 for 9, but the more pertinent statistic is how many runs they are behind. They really need now is Robert Croft to hit a boundary so that South Africa have to bat again. They can just hope that the last wicket pair can then build on that a little. Well, it won't quite go for 4. He should only take 2. Right. Runs are level now in the match. So South Africa have to bat again. That's very well bowled. It's well played by Croft as well, but that was a good over from Mackay and Tierney.
Well, Robert Croft punching the air there, knowing he's just got to survive, or he and Angus Fraser have just got to survive one more over, and they could happily walk off, knowing that the game were drawn.
A few shouts there, but it would have been caught off the head or the shoulder. Nice little black heel for someone to smash it in the top left-hand corner of the net.
Well, it's all a bit tense out there, isn't it? Inside edge onto back leg. Angus Fraser really wondering where the ball's gone.
Brave defence. One ball to go in this Donald over. Man at short backward square comes in 3 or 4 yards. .369 for 9, a drawn match, an exciting afternoon, but what scenes we had then. Alex Stewart biting his nails at one moment and then punching the air, and Croft being patted on the back, and Angus Fraser a hero, and then suddenly Stewart has made it down in 10 seconds to put his arms around Robert Croft, and so he might have done as well. Robert Croft 37 not out. Absolutely magnificent, and the bowling figures, heroes there as well for the South Africans. Donald 6 for 88, 40 overs and 14 maidens. Jacques Cullis 2 for 71. Both of them injured. Klusener couldn't bowl at all. 3 overs for 15. and Antini and Adams, the least experienced bowlers there. 29 overs, none for 67 for Antini, but I thought he bowled pretty well, and Adams 1 for 90 to go with his wickets in the first innings. This is the story of the match. In the end, a triumph for England to get out of the game. 552 for 5 after South Africa won the toss. England 183, and a very ordinary performance there. An inspirational speech from Alex Stewart to the team that they had to sell their wickets dearly, they had to fight for their country, and 369 for 9 was the result. Donald 6 for 88, Cullis 2 for 71, and the batting for England, Stewart 164, Atherton 89, and Robert Croft, a magnificent performance from him, 37 not out, the match drawn, and South Africa lead the series 1-0. The man of the match, chosen by Barry Richards, the former South African batsman, a magnificent one too, was Jacques Cullis, a fine young all-rounder. And after that presentation, David Gower spoke with the two skippers, Alex Stewart and Hansie Cronje.
Very fraught last day for you.
Just a little, that's probably an understatement. The last hour and a half took about 5 days, I think, but it was well worthwhile.
At the start of the day, how fearful were you of the outcome?
Well, I said yesterday we had 2 good sessions. Today we had to have 3 good sessions. We had a little collapse, but Robert Croft, the Welshman, showed his English really.
Now, you yourself came to the wicket with things looking pretty dire yesterday, 11 for 2. Does this count as one of your best innings of all time?
Yeah, I was very happy the way I played, obviously. It'd been nice to have been there at the end and emulated Michael Atherton's effort in Joburg. But as I say, I was happy, 160 odd, well played. As I say, Crofty saved it at the end.
Hansie, how frustrating is that to come to the end of a game like this and still not have won the game?
There are very few good draws in cricket, but I think that'll go down as one of the better draws that I've played in. Obviously very disappointing that we couldn't have bowled them out, but it's not through lack of trying. We certainly tried our best right up until the end.
Yes, you're a little unfortunate. Some of your bowlers, Lance Klusener, for instance, had an injury which prevented him bowling, but the rest filled the gap admirably, didn't they?
Yeah, for sure. I think, as Barry said, Jacques Cullis has stepped up and taken real responsibility with the ball. Paul Adams, when it really mattered, bowled well. And I thought where they turned the game and probably saved it was between lunch and tea yesterday, where Atherton and Stewart played terrifically well and we couldn't get a breakthrough.
Wonderful sentiments there from the two captains. I won't say that this was a great cricket match. There was a lot of good cricket played in it, but there was some ordinary stuff as well. But it was a wonderful finale and a great last day. Very, very exciting. One of the most exciting last days I've seen in all the time I've been watching. And full marks to those England heroes who fought it out and the South Africans who worked so hard for wickets even though their bowlers were injured. It certainly sets up the series now. It leaves South Africa just one ahead, and I can tell you that the next